Furiosa, the Mad Max saga without a Mad Max, just barely manages to defeat a fat orange feline with a love for lasagna in the worst Memorial Day weekend opening in 30 years. Oh boy, with a rather precipitous decline of 37% from last year, with Furiosa earning a rather pathetic $32 million on a budget of I think $168 million. Furiosa is well on the way to becoming one of the largest craters in entertainment history at this rate, and yet this is despite absolutely rave reviews from critics and audiences alike. How could this happen? Well, that's going to be the subject of today's video, because this has been happening a couple times recently, and I think I know why. And it's an interesting wider discussion around this. So, right. First and foremost, when a movie gains 90% reviews from the critics today, that in and of itself is a very large and very red flag. That alone makes a lot of people look at it and go, oh, I don't know about that. At this point, the critic reviews have been completely inverted. The lower they are, the more interested people will be. The higher they are, the less interested people will be. But the audiences loved it as well. So let us assume, because I haven't seen it, that it's actually a good movie, right? What could explain nobody showing up to watch it? Well, who knows? Furiosa, why the Mad Max movies don't need Mad Max anymore. I'm as lost as you are. No, of course not. Okay. They even mentioned in this article that the only red line, the only connecting factor between the previous Mad Max movies was Mad Max. And so, in a absolutely amazing display of the entertainment industry to get the wrong message from even the most blindingly blatant of signals, they then go, oh, I guess Mad Max doesn't need Mad Max anymore. Yeah, sure, let's try that out. And in addition to this as well is, of course, Furiosa. The Mad Max movie without a Mad Max is centered around a female character. Now, here's the thing. That is not necessarily a bad thing, as the reviews appear to indicate. However, in this day and age, you show me a poster like this, where the woman is coming in to apparently replace the male lead, and the majority of people, as demonstrated by the box office bomb, are gonna look at that and go, woke, and avoid it like the plague. Because that is where we are now. The very hint, the very suggestion of woke alone is enough to turn people off in enormous numbers. This is not merely just a culture warrior versus culture warrior thing, where the 2% are arguing over the 98. This is the 1% having by now convinced the 98% to reject anything that so much as has a whiff of the opposite side in terms of entertainment, because we have been so cursed with bad entertainment due to woke reasons for so long now that it has become persona non grata. This can be further demonstrated in another show, which I brought up on several occasions now. X-Men 97 ends season 1 as the best reviewed Marvel project ever. That's a high bar considering the successes of the previous Marvel movies, and you know what? It deserves it. X-Men 97 is an excellent animated show that by and large stays remarkably faithful to the original. It actually deserves the name 97, as it is by and large just a direct continuation of the original TV show, occasionally to its benefits. I've watched it. I initially watched it because I was like, okay, well, this is going to be a disaster, isn't it? The developer, the primary writer, director, whatever, is on Twitter constantly talking about how much he hates anyone who isn't a progressive and how the X-Men have always been woke, etc. This is going to be garbage. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to laugh at it. I watched the episode 1 and hold on. That's not bad. Episode 2. Oh, it gets better. And I decided not to do anything on it because it was actually good. Like, all right, there you go. But it's a good show, and there's very little woke in it, and yet X-Men 97 hits 4 million views in 5 days. 4 million views in a week. For comparison here, okay, my 2 YouTube channels get something in excess of 1 million views a month. Like, both of them probably 1.5, 2 million views a month, roughly estimate, right? That means that my channel, tiny old me, gets half of the total views of X-Men 97's first episode in 5 days in a month. This is on a platform with 153 million subscribers on Disney+. This is a disaster, especially considering my animated shows are not cheap to make in this day and age. Even when they do try to skip on a fair bit of the bells and whistles to make it look more retro, this was not a cheap show, I can guarantee you. And 4 million views, that ain't gonna pay for it. That is not the kind of draw that you need to see on a platform like Disney+, which already is not profitable. Now, X-Men 97 is already guaranteed a second season, and I think possibly a third, but these are contractual obligations, right? These were in production before the first episode had even aired, so it's no indication of success or failure. But this is very, very bad for a Disney Plus animated show. Very bad. And again, why? It is because the director was telling people, hey, this is not for you, filthy, evil, white man bigot. And the filthy, evil, white man bigots heard that and went, okay, I'm just not going to watch it then. As I've seen this on Twitter as well. I've seen several of the large content creators, like Yellow Flash, for example, who I've talked on multiple occasions now, and I consider a friendly acquaintance of mine, saying exactly what I'm saying. It's a good show, and then below that tweet, in countless replies is, I don't care, the creator is woke. Fair goddamn enough, isn't it? Like, if the man who makes something says that he hates you, do you want to monetarily reward him? Do you want to back him up? Do you want to support his shows? Of course not. And hell, years and years ago, I was of the position that you could enjoy the art without enjoying the creator. You could separate the two. You could watch something from somebody you disliked because you liked the content. But we are so far beyond that point right now. We have entered an era of not only general, genuine culture war, where the two sides are so diametrically opposed that any gains for the opposition is only very grudgingly given by the other side. You don't want to do anything that benefits the other side because you've seen what they are going to do to you, with not only without hesitation, but with glee painted on their faces. When the other side goes, oh, I'm very glad that we are destroying your hobby, you're not going to be very charitably disposed towards them, now are you? Not at all, and I fully understand that, which is incidentally why I got my X-Men 97 off alternative sources, shall we say. And that is probably one of the better ways to go about it. As, here's the thing. The interesting discussion here is, of course, what is to be done about this? So, we are in a absolute desperate dearth of good content, alright? Well, here is a piece of good content. How can we then go, hey, this was good, give us more of this, whilst also taking distance away from the people who made it, who say they hate you? Well, it's a very hard question, isn't it? One raised by Trench Crusade recently as well, where the creators themselves quite obviously said that, no, we are taking a very explicit progressive position here, and if you do not agree to our progressive position, you are not going to be welcome within our community. Alright, well, the only thing you can really do then is begin to create a separate economy of it. It is to straight up take the thing in whatever alternative way you can, enjoy it, encourage other people to enjoy it as well in alternative ways, and then maybe talk positively about it. But even better, perhaps, is to not do so, and instead continue to lambast it for being woke. See, here's the thing. Just the other day, I made a video saying stick, stick, and stick. Incidentally, meme. And This is the thing. What has the progressives done? Have they ever bought a medium? Have they ever caused anything to be a success? Have they ever shown up in numbers that are required to make something into a financial success when they said they wanted it? Has it ever happened? No. In fact, catering to progressivism has near universally been box office poison, and yet they have seemingly done nothing but gain ground. Why? Because negative feedback is king. Above all other feedback, negative feedback is the most effective. Negative feedback rings out 10 times as loudly as anything positive. So continue to lambast X-Men 97, and then praise its quality on occasion. We'd like more of this, but we hate the people who made it. Negative feedback is the absolute best form of feedback, and in an ideal world, we would be able to maintain the good thing whilst continuing to drive out the people who cursed all of these things in the first place. But the unfortunate reality is probably that a few good things are going to have to be sacrificed upon the altar of, if you will forgive the term, progress. Unavoidably so, because the only way you can continue to get not just good thing, on occasion, a rare, miraculous exception to the rule, is to create the wider cultural circumstances where this is the norm rather than the exception. And the only way to do that is to chase out the people who made the wokeism the norm, who made the bad stuff the norm. And if X-Men 97 must die to do so, well, it's an unfortunate sacrifice, but it is one I am willing to make to get better X-Men for a decade thereafter. Until next time, I've been Arch. Thank you all very much for watching, and I do hope to see you all again soon. Have a good day.